What's up, team? Welcome to the Huddle. We're your weekly playbook where we not only strategize on playing the game, but changing it from mastering the fundamentals of the craft to distinguishing ourselves in the marketplace. We're here to give the installer a voice and ensure you're equipped with everything you need. Let's band together and forge a new legacy in flooring. This is where you belong. Welcome to the team. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? Welcome to the team.
Hello.
With me, as always, Mr. Daniel and Jose Gonzalez of Preferred Flooring in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we got a special guest here in studio today, Mr. Dwayne Pruitt, often talked about. And now you can see
Mr. D. Wayne.
D.
Hello,
Wayne.
Good to be here.
Today's topic,
Well, now, brother.
we're going to be talking about niching down in a flooring discipline that and what the benefits of that are. And mostly the benefits of doing that as a young installer or new to the industry, kind of how to approach the flooring business. Oftentimes we've seen guys go into the flooring business, and flooring has a lot of, it's like going to school. There's a lot of subjects, and there's really four main disciplines, but there's even more than this. You got carpet, resilient, which even in resilient, you got multiples. What's up, Jorge? We got hardwood, ceramic tile, but you got epoxy flooring. You got,
Polished concrete.
You got all kinds of stuff. I mean, in resilient, you got vinyl base and millwork base and all these other disciplines within there. We call them sub-disciplines at Carrera. But the point is, I've seen too many guys try to take on new people to the industry, try to take on a wide swath of flooring, and each one have their own intricacies and details. And so what I implore you to do is pick one, drive deep, get good, and then go wide. And we have some subject matter in that arena. I mean, Daniel and Jose, we have Pruitt on here who did the same thing. I myself was a resilient and sheet vinyl guy more than anything. But Daniel and Jose, you guys jumped into it and are well known. If I was to say, what are you known for? It's your sheet vinyl and
It's our sheet vinyl
welding skills and your resilient work, right?
Yep.
I would have to agree.
And the benefit of doing that, I know you guys do more. You do almost all flooring now. So what was the benefit of going that direction?
I think the benefit just started when we were told that there wasn't very many people around that did it and did it well. And so the benefit came to trying to get a skill set so that way we can start trying to say that's what we specialize in, right? So the benefit was so we can get more of that work. And we worked for other companies at the time. So I guess technically it made us more valuable to those companies, which in turn made that skill set valuable to us when we went on our own.
Yeah. And you do end up, Dwayne is known for wearing flashy jeans.
From the buckle. He is.
You need to quit looking at my pants.
He stares at your butt, Dwayne. That's why he knows.
But the truth is that you guys got known for it too. I mean, it's also one of those deals where you get sought after for doing that particular thing when you're known for doing that thing. And when you get really, really good and you drill down on it and you're not doing, some ceramic here, a little bit of carpet there, some LVT there, and like this wide swath, it's almost like how handyman approach the flooring industry. What I implore you is that professionals approach it to get really good at one of the disciplines and then start to apply the knowledge from this one, because there's certainly crossover from resilient to carpet or carpet to resilient, and or tile and hardwood guys. A lot of times you'll see those two trades cross over, or really good resilient guys doing hardwood or vice versa. But get really good at something. Jorge is on with us as usual, and he's very specific in what he does, and he's done very well, and he's known for what he does. So I wanted to ask you, Dwayne. First off, tell us a little bit about you. I know you're pretty well known in the industry. Everybody loves you, but we'd like to know a little bit about how did you get started, and what did you drive deep on?
So when I started out, I was 19 years old, first generation, just looking for a job out of high school. And the guy hired me from the church, said, "Hey, you want to learn how to lay carpet?" And turns out he laid carpet, he did vinyl, he did it all. And honestly, especially, I hated the days we did ceramic. I couldn't or any piecework. It just did not speak to me. I mean, I did it. It was my job. But, the hands cracked out, dried out. I just, the ceramic never spoke to me. And I just always look forward to the days that I knew we were laying carpet.
I like how he said that. The ceramic never spoke to me.
It just didn't. I just hated it. I dreaded the days that we were doing some sort of piecework. Obviously LVP and laminate at that time, 1988, wasn't popular. But the sheet vinyl was there. We did it a little bit, not a whole lot. I knew it was tough to deal with. Had to be a lot more careful. I'm not known for a real careful guy, but
it's a lot easier to put a patch in carpet than it is some sheet vinyl.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. And I just, now looking into the carpet and the different fabrics and everything we have now, it still just speaks to me. And I think Paul would attest that in this area, I'm known as one of the best carpet guys.
That's the point. That's one of the reasons I wanted you on today, is the fact that when I've known you for probably 15 or going 20, on 20 years.
Close to 20.
When we would have a big carpet job that at a hotel with a hospitality piece or a wool piece, we always called you. It was always like, let's get Pruitt on this, and you'd give me shit because we wouldn't give you the easy carpet towel jobs.
Nothing changed.
His reputation even brought him over here to Kalamazoo to do a theater, right? Like,
yeah, and he didn't even call us to come say hi or anything.
Actually, he did call. He actually came to my kid's ball game.
Oh, he didn't call me though. So.
Yeah, he came to my kid's ball game that day. Come on now.
That's right. I had to borrow a couple of tools there that we needed, and that's absolutely true. I fell into the carpet part, and it just spoke to me a little more. And then when I kind of started going on my own, and I was only 19 years old, I think 20, and I got the opportunity to go. A guy I was working for, George Lai, laying some carpet for. I was working out my 1988 Monte Carlo, and they would deliver carpet to me. But he said, "Hey, there's these guys that have a different way of seaming up carpet, and would you like to go to this seminar?" I was like, "Absolutely, let's go learn something." And honestly, I went cocky as could be, as most installers, and the guys walked in. One of them looked like Mario. I was like, "Who is that?"
Like from Mario Brothers?
From Mario Brothers. Ed Brown.
He's not. Oh, that's Luigi. I was going to say he's not a plumber. Well, Mario's a plumber too, so anyway.
But and next thing you know, a guy named Jim Walker walked in, wearing his 3-piece suit at that time. And this has got to be 89, 90. It was really early on. And we, just like everybody else, I learned using a straight edge to cut all my seams. And these guys showed me a row finder and a row cutter the first time. And it just blew me away. And I sat there. I mean, at lunch, I bugged them. After class, I kept playing with it. They kept letting me use it. Went, bought one, and it turned out no matter where I went, and I moved around quite a bit back then, everywhere from Vegas to Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, no matter where I went, using that row finder and row cutter made me the best in the area.
Wow.
And it wouldn't take long before I was that first installer that they would call on, especially for the hard stuff. And that just, transpired.
Just learn how to run a row
how to run a row. And because nobody was doing it. And that was a big niche for me to, no matter where I went, it provided opportunities.
Well, and it certainly allowed you to get the commercial work, because there's not a lot of commercial that you could straight edge. So I started out in carpet, but fell in love. It spoke to me. Is sheet vinyl. I liked kind of like what you said, Jose, that there was not a lot of people that did it. That's what I actually liked about it, was like there was just very few people. A lot of guys will try carpet. You know what I'm saying? There's just guys are scared to try sheet vinyl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if a sheet
Yep.
vinyl job comes up even today, if you're not trained in it, the guys are like, well, I don't really do sheet vinyl. If it's carpet, they're like, yeah, I'll try.
It's because it's one of those things that they know if they don't do it right, they're going to be paying for something. Yeah.
So you can't stick a patch in because or you know, once you run a sheet good product,
you're done.
It's ruined.
You're
you ruin that 30-foot cut. Guess what? You need another 30-foot cut, and you better figure out where that other piece is
and
going.
I love that I love the pressure of it, and I love the
that's
fact
what it
that
is.
there was very few people that would do it, and back then it paid well compared to the other floorings, but it's one of the highest paying, like the biggest increases. If you look back 10 years to now, the increases in payout is the greatest one is sheet vinyl.
It is. And
it's because more and more people, less and less people are getting trained in it. More and more people are, wanting to they learn LVT or LVP, and they say they're a resilient guy, but they won't touch sheet vinyl. They'll do the LV, just like so many people will do LVP or LVT or carpet tile, and that's the bulk of the industry in commercial, but they won't touch the sheet vinyl. And so it's still one of those deals where it's I would say still a very nice niche to be in, and I loved doing it when I did it. The beauty of being done with a sheet vinyl floor, it's hard to match. But you probably got the same thing out of a pattern match casino carpet, because you did a casino for me.
Oh, I love that stuff.
We do a lot of casinos matching that pattern, even residentially matching those patterns. I just posted here recently a plaid job we did where we matched the pattern going up the stairs to the floor. That stuff is where it's at for me. Sorry, that vinyl's still hard and ugly. So not a big fan of it. You got that bead going every 6 foot across it. It just still doesn't speak to me. But
you got to start somewhere, though, right? Pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be able to do sheet vinyl, bro. You got to give yourself more credit.
What? I still know some good buddies that some of Paul's old guys. I called him to have them go do it for me. So
yeah,
it's not that we run from it, but I definitely don't search it out.
Yeah, and that's what we started was the carpet too. So like I will add to that is what you had said about resilient, about sheet vinyl, Paul, is the one shot, and what Daniel said, the one time you get one shot. We're pretty competitive, so we like that idea. Like, oh, so you're testing me. You're testing me. I'm testing myself, and that's the same thing that's what led us to that is the high end commercial pattern match and all the custom work. And it was like, what is next, right? Like, we do this fairly well. What is next? And that was next on the agenda. And it actually made us better carpet installers because of the fine details. But Daniel took the resilient part and ran with it.
Yeah, he did. And the baby sister did too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then when Jeremy says a little bit ago, the floor prep kings, that's where you get. That's what you have to be when you're dealing with resilient too. It's like a lot of people don't realize that the reason why we price resilient or sheet vinyl in particular the way we do is because 4 days I'm prepping, 1 day I'm installing. Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy the amount of prep work that goes into something like that, because you'll be able to see every little thing underneath there.
Well, most of your commercial vinyls are 080 gauged.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like it's very.
You can't hide anything.
And you can't drop an eyelash under it, bro. If you drop an eyelash, you'll see it.
Speaking to the floor prep, you're 100% right on that. And a few years ago, CFI decided to come out with a book and come out with a class. And they said, which one of you, who all wants to be involved in this? And I jumped at it. And I was incredibly selfish for the reasons why I jumped. That is, I wanted to learn what I didn't know. And wow, I found out how much I didn't know really quick. So, that's another niche you can get into is just floor prep.
Just floor prep. But the issue with that, though, is that the guys like us that are really good at floor prep will be like, well, I don't know what they did. So how am I supposed to warranty my stuff on that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can, especially if you get into big pour projects where you're pouring, big Shernox pours or big Laticrete pours, pumping, that kind of stuff. Those guys are very specialized. They got pumps.
Like, some of those are huge. I'm not talking that big where somebody like you are coming in to install it. I'm getting calls to where this thing's 2.5 inches out. Would you please come up to northern Kansas and level this out for us? And we can do that now. And then it also leads to another either tile, LVP, or a different job for it. But it was really nice to learn through that certification that I did with CFI that, wow, I'm doing it right now. Before then it was, whatever we had in the truck, we threw it in a bucket and we mixed it up.
Yeah, right? Mixing it with a trowel,
it wasn't that.
Creating the volcano on the floor and mixing it that way.
Right. Yes, I've been there, done that.
We've seen plenty of guys do the volcano mixing method, and if you're patching a single nail hole, that might work. But when you're prepping an actual floor, that goes across discipline. So I'm glad you brought that up. You got you went and got particular training through CFI. I remember when I sent guys to you to get trained in CFI trained for, I think it was R1 and C1. What a difference they came out with. They had that same thing that you were talking about. They had this attitude when they walked in, like they were. It was.
You couldn't teach them anything.
They were good installers. I mean, the McDaniel boys are good installers.
Great guys too. I like those guys.
Awesome dudes. And Dennis and those guys went there, but when they left, they came out and they were like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I've said that on this podcast 100 times if I've said it once, but just watching guys go in that think they know something, and you probably do, enough to get it on the floor. But I think for our profession to be advanced, we have to care about the long term, the person, the customer, the client that's going to have to walk on that floor long term. If you care about them, you need to be doing it to last 10 or 15 years, not look good for your warranty
period. That's
of 1 year. Like right. you want to care about the customers, who's going to be on that floor long term. I preach that at our company. I preach that to our installers that you got to care about the end user who's going to be using that floor for years and years and years.
Right. And then
providing them.
When you look into even, more specialized training, like through the manufacturers, I'm Tarcat Sports certified. So I automatically have to pass on a 2-year warranty right off the bat. Like It's in the paperwork. So the GCs might only require that 1 year still, but myself, I have to extend that another year just because I'm certified.
And that's through affiliations too, is they back you on the warranty, right? Like they do that because now you have that knowledge base, you have that skill set to comfortably offer that, as long as all the ducks were in a row and everything was set and laid down properly, as your knowledge and your skill set and what you've learned in your education tells you how to do it, teaches you how to be a better installer. It also teaches you how to be more assertive for the requirements needed for that specific niche that you have.
One of the things I've learned most through most of the trainings I've been through is process and efficiency. Learn that you don't. That's why we are always promoting training, whether if you're going to get into carpet and resilient and get CFI certified, or go AFT and get with those guys and get certified or get trained. At the very least, understand what you're doing and get trained in what you're doing. The key to me is that you will learn. You will learn that the efficiencies that you get out of those trainings will make you more money. It always does. Every guy that I've talked to that goes through training of some sort, or they get certified in a certain flooring or what have you, they always come out with, I wish I'd have known this 10 years ago, or whatever the time frame. So if you're new and you've been flirting with flooring a little bit, I implore you to get factory trained or industry trained in the business, and you'll pick up efficiencies and you'll pick up skill sets. It's going to make you more money and let you be like Dwayne or these guys.
As a CFI trainer and now an AFT trainer, every training we go to, everybody comes in. I wouldn't say everybody, but the majority of guys come in cocky as can all be, and it always starts out that way. There's always a small chip, as Jeremy just said, and I was Jeremy and Jose's trainer when you guys got CFI certified.
I wasn't cocky though.
That was back when Dwayne didn't like me.
Jeremy was cocky enough for both of you.
He sure was.
But you know what? He walked away learning something, and I could tell he learned it, and that attitude changed. And as we're doing those certifications, those attitudes always change, which that should speak to all the installers out there. Just because you think you may know it all and you've been doing it a certain way for 30 years doesn't mean times haven't changed. And I implore all installers, get out there, get some sort of certification.
Especially if you're going to be doing commercial. I know that CFI's got like their commercial carpet trainings. The reason I say that is commercial, you need to understand the adhesives, your trowel notches, how much glue you're putting down, supposed to be putting down. I remember when I first started, man, we would take a trowel and literally
notch it.
The saw. We wouldn't even use the notcher. We just used the saw. You buy it's
like
got
a hacksaw.
It's a hacksaw with a round blade on it.
The chainsaw. That's a chainsaw sharpener.
It was a round blade. I forget.
That's a chainsaw blade sharpener.
U notches in everything.
That's actually a good idea in a pinch.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a trowel, but the better way is to make sure you got the proper trowel and understand why you need V-notch, why you need U-notch, why you may need these different types of notches. It comes even more in handy if you get, or important, I should say, if you get into the ceramic tile side of things. You get in the ceramic tile side of things and understanding why you need square, V, moon. There are certain notches for your gauge porcelain panels, back buttering, all this stuff. This is all the knowledge you get from going through, like for ceramic tile, it'd be CTEF, and going through and getting CTI certified. So proper equipment is one of the main things that you'll also get out of training, and understanding that, like I just said, not using a rail saw to cut U-notches in your trowels, having the proper equipment and understanding your site conditions, all of these things that go in with commercial work, really understanding your moisture readings of your concrete. This is what it takes to be a flooring professional. And I should mention that one of our sponsors is Floor Cloud, and you want to talk about a awesome way to know your site conditions, you should have Floor Cloud. If you're an installer, I know that in one of the previous episodes, it was asked, would this work in residential? Absolutely. It may not it's not going to be reading the concrete moisture, but it'll still tell you all the site conditions. And Floor Cloud, I know that you guys use it. We believe in it, and it allows you can save time, money, and effort by being able to read your site conditions, like I said, your moisture readings, all that stuff, right from your desktop or from your cell phone. And if here in a minute, we'll even play you a little video if one of the huge backup people can do that, because I can't. I'm just here to talk. But I do want you to understand that Floor Cloud, the value that Floor Cloud can bring to you as an installer and to you as a company. The companies, you can dispatch your installers with confidence that the GC is not telling you it's ready, that it's actually ready. And as an installer, you can have confidence when you're working with a company that has Floor Cloud that they're using a site monitoring system, and you're not going to waste your time driving 30 minutes just to find out that the HVAC is not on. So plug for Floor Cloud.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, we've got one set up in the school here in Wichita. Everybody on here and probably watching knows how technology challenged I am. Easiest system to use. I can jump on there on that app and I can figure out what the humidity is, the temperature, and everything right there in the school. And I can do that.
So simply take a scan the QR code on the front of the sensor, and you set it up right from there. It's like a wizard. It just walks you right through setting it up, and then put your sensor on a wall somewhere, and it uses cellular, so you don't even have to have a Wi-Fi connection or anything like that. So you don't need some Wi-Fi pod. If you ain't using Floor Cloud, you should look into them. floorcloud.com. That going on.
Real-time monitoring of your job site conditions via desktop or mobile device. No more manual checking for temperature, humidity, or even dew point. No need for base stations, Wi-Fi, or external power sources. Simply scan the QR code on the front of your sensors and you're up and running with the most accurate and innovative site monitoring system in the flooring industry. Dispatch your crews with confidence and reduce your climate-related installation issues. Floor Cloud, now you know.
Well, there you go. We can let the video speak for itself. All right, so as we're talking about niching down in flooring, there's a couple of things. There's some trainings going on. There's trainings going on here in Wichita that you can attend. And I want to spend some time talking about the competition coming up, because you want to talk about niche. Some of these guys, this is all about niche. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some trainings coming up here in Wichita that AFT puts on. That is some carpet seaming courses. I believe it's in July. Go to their website and you can check it out more.
Oh, it's coming up pretty quick.
July quick.
11th.
Yep. And we are fully 100% down with trainings, period. So kick up the
installer of the year
coming up. Yeah. So this is something really cool. The installer of the year competition at Tice. This is in Las Vegas every year. It's in January, and this is the result of guys niching down. This competition is no joke. I'm going to have Dwayne talk about it a little bit. He's been involved with it over the years, and he's got one of his installers that went through it and competed. Baby sister competed. I say baby sister. It's Crystal. So,
but it's okay, man. It's okay. Everybody knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, but can you tell us a little bit about your experience and Zach and some of the benefits and beauty that? I mean, I've been to those competitions every year, and there's something pretty damn special to be involved with.
Man, it's a great thing. And just for my perspective of it, was a deal where, and I'm going to go on just a little bit on this, cut me off if I need to, but how it worked out for us was, I was going out there working with CFI, setting it. It's a ton of work to set up that stuff out there in Vegas. And so myself, Jonathan Varden, and they would always see if I'd say, hey, bring a couple of your guys out to help us get this stuff done. So we went out there and we're setting up the competition. Zach was with us. And we had this is the first year, I think baby sister or Crystal ended up competing as well. And we had to set up all these booths. Well, a couple of people dropped out. And so they didn't want a couple empty booths. And so they's like, first Robert's like, well, Dwayne Johnson, you're going to have to compete. And I can't repeat what Jonathan said, but I said, Mr. Varden, I don't think I'm ready for that. I'm rusty. I can't really step up and do that right now because I don't install every day anymore. And, it's kind of, if you don't use it every day, you lose a little bit of it. So anyway, that said, he looked over at Zach and said, "You want to do it?" And by the way, Zach had just put in probably 45 hours in about 4 days, 3 days. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys are insane.
Said, you know what? I'll do it. And he jumped up, said he was willing, and went in and he competed, and he did very well. He had none of his own tools, nothing. We borrowed stuff from here, there, and everywhere just to get it done. And I'll never forget, I asked him that first night. I was like, "Man, how you doing? You doing all right with this?" He goes, and his answer was just awesome. It's just another day of work, boss. Same crap you always taught us. And that's all it was. It was just that easy to him. It wasn't until later I realized that all the trainings and everything I've done and all the teaching I've done on these guys, because Zach's been with me since he was 17, 18. And it was just those trainings that was able to let him compete on a level like that.
Yeah.
And that was just trainings that I've passed down, let alone trainings that he's gotten that I provided to him. So that all said, he competed, he did well, and now he's hooked, and I don't think he's going to quit until he wins it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Do you know what place he took?
Almost second the last 2-3 years. So
he's so close, dude. He's so close. Like, he's always on track, and I'm always watching. And then there's always like that. These installers have to adjust on a fly, right? And if it's one thing that throws you off, it can mess you up. And
yeah,
Well,
if you like to compete, like if we're competitive dudes,
and we all have the ego like we are.
I should just say installers, because Crystal's competitive as hell. If you're a competitive installer, you should try. You don't like, you go to a regional and you qualify for the event. That's pretty much how it runs today. So get involved, get trained, get with the training entities and engage with them. Get to conference FCICA, sorry, conference up in October, I believe it is. We'll be there. Come see us. Go Carrera will have a booth at that. Come check us out. We can help you get in touch with the people to compete in January, even if there's any regionals left by that time. But the point is, man, getting involved is what I read from Dwayne, from you guys.
I think there's a lot of guys or a lot of people that are apprehensive about doing it, right? Because they're like, yeah, I'm good, but I don't know if I'm that good. But I was that way. Baby sister was that way, and it's like,
tell us a little bit about that journey with Crystal.
So I actually kind of pushed her into it, right? Because she really is like, and it's kind of like imposter syndrome, right? Where you get to a certain level and then people start becoming like your fans, like, all right, they know her and all this, right? And she's like, I don't understand why people like me so much. And it's like, you don't have to understand, you just have to roll with it. So it was kind of like,
embrace it.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, I'm going to sign you up and you're going to do it. And whatever happens. Like, I know how good you are. We trained you. So I know you're going to do things the right way.
She said no a lot, guys. Like, she said no for months. Like, because then we had a year off because of COVID. A year off because of COVID. So she said no, like, I'm not doing it. Yes, you are. I'm not doing it. Yes, you are.
You know something on this. This whole thing's about niche. Go into the niche that you've done. You all are installers. You're all cocky as can be. We all are. It's your niche. Go into what you know. And don't go into it as, I got to prove myself, I'm not a failure if I lose. Go in there ready to learn something new.
Yeah.
See where you're at. Put yourself up against the best.
Yeah, and it was like that when I was doing it too, right? You're looking at the other booth and you're like, that looks way better than mine. I'm going to ask him how he did that. And I did.
Roy Lewis says it the best when he says iron sharpens iron. Yep. It's going to make you better when you go against the best. And that's really what you're going to get out of it. There's prizes, there's all that, and there's ego trip, but you're going to come out a better installer and a better person for train for.
And talking to, even Zach, when he was in there too, it was the same way. He was like, man, this person's stuff looks so much better and they did it this way and I did it that way. And I probably should have did it, a totally different way than either of us did it to make it right. But it's like, man, what's done is done already. You only got a certain amount of time in there, and you just have to start moving on.
1,000 of those conversations, I promise you.
Yeah, well, you run with the best, like you said, you learn. And then once you learn, you come back the next year a little bit better, and the next year a little bit better.
And Jimmy says he wants the belt.
Get the
I think
belt,
he's going to compete this year, or
Sounds like
next year rather. Jimmy, you going to compete?
To quote the Kevin Keith, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
sign up, baby.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Be about
it. You want it so bad, go get it.
So here's the deal. Again, we say it every week. I sound like a broken record, but I enjoy sounding that way, I reckon, is get involved in the industry, get to the conferences, get to CFI's convention coming up with joint with FCICA in October, get to TICE, get in the competition, get around people. We'll be there. Are you going to TICE? Do you think you'll be there?
There's a great possibility.
It'd be awesome to see you go. I know you've been a staple there, so I hope you go.
I'll see you there, Dwayne. I hope you're
yes,
there,
baby.
I really do.
I'm rooming with you, Jose.
Okay, I got plenty of space.
So, guys, as we wind down here, my biggest message is always like, if we niche down, you get really good into something, then you can broaden your horizons, and it does play into the other disciplines really well. Mm-hmm. I've seen that work hundreds of times for good installers. Do you have the same opinion? Do you have an alternate opinion about that?
No, I'm opinionated about everything, right? But I think that
I asked
if you have a niche and you want to learn something, right? And I'm not going to say like carpet tile or just a standard like a square format LVP or LVT or VCT or something like that, right? Find something that is harder than the standard to do, get good at that. And then what it's going to do is going to shed the light on a lot of the other things, a lot of the other disciplines. It's going to help educate you on that as well. The ones that are already fairly simple to do are going to become no-brainers, right? Like now you have a niche, you're specializing in something that separates you from the crowd.
They get you requested.
Right, like it gets you requested, but now you still have all the other ones that you already know how to do to fall back on. But now you're going to be more proficient. You're going to understand the science behind it a little bit more. And I wrote down that note. I put there is a certain path to being better at more types of flooring, and it's specializing in one first and then branching off from that.
Yes.
And I will say, no matter how good we got at Resilient, when we went back and took our first subfloor substrate certification class, we realized that we might have learned how to do things out of order. And it's like, oh, ding, ding, ding. The light goes off. You're like, that's why this failed. That's why that don't work. That's why this works like that. It's just like, dang.
That's one course or one thing I think everybody should go through a training or a certification or whatever, at least a training in that's subfloor prep. It's paramount and important on all flooring, and the more particular flooring you get into, the more particular it gets. So
yeah.
We all know carpet's a little bit more forgiving on the floor prep from a visual standpoint, but proper installation of it, it's really not, right? So install it properly. Jose is on point with specialty install. Hone a specialty skill. Amen.
To speak to that, and Jose is completely right, and you are as well. Find that first thing that you're good at. What speaks to you, what you enjoy doing. Hone in on that, get really good at that. We've done that at Pruitt Flooring. We've done that, and it's opened up so many other doors to the floor prep, to demo, to...
You just did a waterproofing deal.
We right? Just did a waterproofing deal. I was scared to death to do 3,000 feet of waterproofing. I would have never taken out. If you're going to take on something new, get that training, team up with the people that can do it. I tell all of my customers, you called me because you know I'm really good at carpet. You want me to do this LVP, you want me to do this hardwood, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get some subs that are way better at it than I am. Don't expect out of me what I do for you for carpet to do the same for hardwood ceramic.
And I tell
rely on some other people for that.
Yeah, I tell our clients the same thing, right? When I go on some of these pre-bid walks and stuff like that, and I'm like, they're like, you guys do this, right? And I said, look, we're really good at what we do, and I find other people that are really good at what they do, and those are who I bring in. I'm not just gonna, bring in anyone. And they're like, good. I said, that's probably what you're running into a lot right now, because they just bid, and then can't find anyone. Here, I'm just going to give it to anyone. Said, we don't operate that way. So that's why a lot of times, I'll pass on a bid when I don't have that solid person there for me already.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And if you can be that, the point here is to the audience is you can be that person. You can be that person that gets the call from the flooring company that does, we all know it. Most of us sub out all of our work, if not a lot of it. We probably are 70%. We have in-house employee hourly installers as well. And I know you guys do is up there in Michigan, but across the nation, most of the flooring's installed by subs. Dwayne's been a sub for me for, going on 20 years as we spoke. He's done like the awesome carpet work that we've been proud to team up with him on. The point is I wasn't confident in doing it. My guys weren't confident in doing it. So we got the specialty guy to do it. So you can be in that position. That's the whole point.
Well, and a big thing too on that, if you got that niche and you're the specialty guy, you get those phone calls. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, not everything goes 100% perfect, right? Yeah. I will never forget the guy that taught me that we want every job to go great. But when there's a problem, that's when you really shine. So you're going to get those other calls. I get those calls for the LVP. I get calls for heat weld, and I've called you, Jose, on that day. You want to come to Kansas? I still get those calls, not just because I'm a great carpet guy, but they know I'm going to stand behind whatever it is I do.
It's because of your reputation and carpet. They know you'll take care of them.
Absolutely. That niche will build your reputation.
Yeah.
And you're not going to run and hide when there's a problem.
I like that. The niche will build your reputation.
It will. And it's all encompassing too, right? It's not just one type of flooring. When you build a reputation like that, it's all encompassing, right? They know that you're the best. They might not know what you're really good at, but they know that your name is they're partnered up next to, great installer, great at what they do. And that's the benefit of getting a niche. You do get the.
I'm not going to say Dwayne's really good at carpet, but he's only going to warranty his carpet. He's going to say the heck with you if something goes bad on an LVP. They know I'm still going to be there, because now we're talking about character. That niche has built my character.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we have beat the niche out of this conversation, but I do think it's valuable if you're getting into flooring. A lot of our podcasts are meant to reach out to new, upcoming, young installers who want to be in this industry. Maybe want to talk to some old dudes that have done it some wrong ways and figured out some right ways, and hire people now. And we've figured out what works, and whether it's Stuart and Associates or Go Carrera, over the time, this would hurt a lot of guys. Anytime I say it on like one of the flooring groups, you get a bunch of butthurt people when I say I would bet on a flooring installer that's certified or highly trained every single time. I have hired tile installers, carpet installers all over this nation, and the ones that are certified or highly trained and it shows through on their hammer rating, I've always had a much higher likelihood, like way higher likelihood for it to turn out right. Oh, yeah, boy. So thanks everybody for joining us today. If you're not on Go Carrera, get on Go Carrera. And I appreciate your guys' input. I love how you guys built your business. I still love how you guys are curious and trying to always get better. Well, that's same with me.
That's what you got to do. And that's what we did, right? We kind of hyper focused on one thing. And then in a couple weeks, we'll actually be talking about expanding your services, right? Because it's great to focus, but you also have to have those things to fill in.
You certainly want to expand. I just don't want you to come out like a shotgun, come out like a rifle,
No.
and then spread your wings. And like we've said, this whole thing, you're going to build a great reputation, a good relationships with people who you work for, and ultimately it ends in a better scenario and more money for you. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for joining. It's been a great episode.
Yes,
I
sir.
love
Dwayne, thanks for being on video because we know how much you love it.
Yeah.
I've always said I got a face for radio and a voice for not radio.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I
welcome.
I love your path and how you built Pruitt Flooring up. And anytime we have work, this is your guy for carpet. If you're in the Midwest, I'm telling you, reach out to him. And like you said, he now offers and has for several years offered more services than just that. So if you're in Michigan, you reach out to these guys. If you're in Kansas, you reach out to me and Pruitt, and we'll take care of you. Outside that, guys, thank you for the episode. It's been awesome. We'll catch you next week. See you.